Welcome back to another episode of the High Altitude Training Institute. My name is Greg Reverdio, and this is week 7 of the Intermediate Half Marathon Training Plan. In week 10, we talked about the importance of nutrition. Now, what I want to talk about today is the importance of hydration. When you go out on your long runs, you're going to need to take water with you. You're going to need to make sure that you keep hydrated. And the reason you do this on your long run, and maybe on your shorter runs as well, is so that on race day, you know exactly how much water you need to take at each of the 8 stations. Now, when I say exactly, obviously it's not an exact science. A lot of things are going to come into play. If you're going to train during the summer, obviously you're going to need to bring water with you even on the shorter runs. In the winter, maybe not as much. During your long run, there's a few things that you can do. And the first one is to carry water with you. So that can be in the form, like we've said before, of a vest. It can be in the form of a handheld. It can be in the form of just a water bottle. Whatever works for you, or a belt maybe. I recommend that you actually carry something that you may carry during race day if you plan on taking water with you during race day. The other thing that you can do during your long run is stash water somewhere along the course. I've done that before where I put a big water bottle or big water jug, and when I get there I can refill my handheld, which is what I use usually on my long runs. I don't like carrying the backpack unless I'm really going for a very, very long time, and unless I know that I'm going to be using it, like for example during an ultra. Another thing that you need to do with hydration is figure out how much you're going to be sweating. Is the race going to be in the summer? Is the race going to be in the fall? Is it going to be in the spring, or is it going to be in the winter? That's going to make a difference in terms of your hydration strategy. The one thing that I like to do during a marathon, and I know we're talking about half marathon here, but I'll give you the tip anyway, is to carry a very small handheld with me. And a handheld I'm going to refill at each of the 8 stations. And the reason I don't take the water at the 8 station and just drink it there is, one, it's cumbersome, it's hard to do, because just you're going fast and you don't want to stop, and you're grabbing the water, you fold it in half, you try drinking it, it's just a big mess. So by having the handheld with me, what I do is I stop. Well, I don't stop. I grab the bottle as I run, and then I fold it, and then I fill my handheld, and then I do that from the very beginning of the 8 station and then at the very end of the 8 station. So that way I can take 2 different cups, fill up my little handheld, and I actually don't lose any water in the transfer. And so then I can start drinking throughout the next couple of miles until I get to the next 8 station. This has really helped me. The handheld is very light, very lightweight, very easy. I can also put a bunch of gels in there if I need to. Now, I don't do that during half marathons because I don't usually drink anything during half marathon, but that's just my personal thing. If you're a slower runner, you definitely want to take something with you. And so you have to experiment. Hydration is very important. What happens if you don't stay hydrated? Well, you're going to start getting cramps. And not only that, but you have to experiment whether you want to drink water or whether you want to drink maybe a sports drink, like a Gatorade or like a Tailwind, for example. So go out there, give it a shot during your long runs, and make sure you find what works for you. Personally, very long runs, ultras, marathons, I'm going to use Tailwind. When I get really close to the end, if there is something available like Gatorade, then I'm going to take that. That's a little additional boost that it's going to give me. Also, if there is any flat soda, then I'm also going to take that. That's an ultra technique right there. In terms of the half marathon, I'm going to stick with water and then a couple gels during my run. That's it. So find something that works for you again. Go out there, give it a shot, and when you're done, tell us what works in the comment. Maybe you can help somebody else. Now, for the advanced runners out there, obviously you're going to be running at a much faster pace. So you also have to figure out your strategy for hydration and nutrition for your race. One thing that I would recommend is to go light. At this stage, you're not running a 2-hour marathon. You're probably going to be shooting for 130, maybe a 120, maybe even less. In this case, it's going to be harder to drink when you get to the 8 station. So I highly recommend that you find something that works for you. Usually 1 or 2 cups for me is just enough for the entire race, unless it gets really, really hot, in which case I'm going to stop at a lot of different stations. Now let's take a look at this week's training plan. We only have 3 more weeks in phase 3, which means that for the next 3 weeks, this is going to be the toughest of all the workouts with the most mileage for the entire training plan. So keep up the good work. You're almost there. This week, 58 miles total. We have 7 weeks until race day, and this is week 14 out of 20. Monday, we'll do an easy run, 8.5 miles. On Tuesday, we're going to do 12 times 1,000 meters at eye pace with 3-minute rest in between. That's a big workout. That's 10.5 miles total. Now, make sure that you follow the pacing guide when you do this workout and all the other workouts within this week. Wednesday will be our rest day, and then on Thursday, we're going to do 20 minutes at T-pace, or threshold pace, followed by 6 times 200 meters at repetition with 200-meter jog recovery in between. Friday will be an easy run, so we'll be on Saturday, 8 miles and 8.5 miles. And then on Sunday, we have our long run of 15 miles. As always, please give us a like, leave us a comment if you have any question, and don't forget to subscribe. We have a lot more videos coming up for you in the near future. If you want more information about the High Altitude Training Institute and what we do, please go ahead and visit www.altitude.run. You'll find that we do offer coaching, and we also offer a custom training plan for other distances. And finally, we offer summer running camps at high altitude in the summer in Arizona. Join us, find out more information, and we will see you next week. Have a great week of training.